Hello, my name is Keshwani. There's K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for the GMAT. We have been solving GMAT math problems out of this book here, GMAT Review, the official guide, the 13th edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 286. Please turn to page 286. Today is our lesson number 174, and the problem that we are about to solve is 128. In the problem number 128, we are told that we have a right angle triangle with a hypotenuse of 10 centimeter, and the question simply is, what is the perimeter of it? What's the perimeter of this right angle triangle? So let's draw a right angle triangle. The hypotenuse we are told is 10 centimeter. Let's call this x and let's call this y. So what we are looking for here is the perimeter, which in this case would be x plus y, and the hypotenuse, which is 10. And the question simply is, what's the value of this quantity? In other words, all we are looking for is, what is the sum of these two sides? If we can figure out somehow the sum of those two sides, add 10 to it, and we'll have our perimeter. Let's see what they tell us. Number 128. They tell you that the area of the triangle is 25 square centimeter. All right. The area is 25 square centimeter, or centimeters squared. How do we find area of a triangle? Area of a triangle is 1/2 base, which is x times height. 1/2 base times height. And that we are told is 25. That implies that x times y must be 50. Must be 50. That's one equation here. There are two unknowns that we are dealing with here, x and y. We found one equation. Somehow we can get another equation out of it, we'll be all set, because as long as we have two independent equations, we can solve for two variables. Let's see what we can do. Even though, in reality, technically speaking, we really don't need to solve for the two variables as I put it individually. All we are interested in is their sum. The second equation that we need is going to come from the triangle itself, because of the fact that we are told that it's a right angle triangle with the hypotenuse of 10. That tells us that 10 squared must equal x squared plus y squared. So that's our second equation. Somehow we have to put these two together along with the fact that we're looking for x plus y. How can we do that? It's very simple. We know x squared plus y squared, we know x times y, x plus y is what we are interested in. So this is the tricky part. This is where a lot of people, the people who will have trouble with it, this is where they will have trouble with it. Once they get over this hurdle, the rest is very easy. The hurdle is that, the trick is that you have to realize that what we need to use here is this relationship, x plus y whole squared equals x squared plus 2xy plus y squared, which of course can be written as x squared plus y squared plus 2 times xy. And x plus y whole squared, if we can solve for it, we can figure out x plus y. Well, x squared plus y squared, we know what that is. That's 100 right here. X squared plus y squared is 10 squared, which is 100. And we know what x times y is. X times y is 50. 50 times 2 will be 100. Or if you like, we can put it down as 2 times 50 so we can see it. 2 times 50, which is right here. Comes straight from here. And that's our x plus y whole squared, which comes out to be 200. And therefore, x plus y must be the square root of 200. X plus y is the square root of 200, and therefore the perimeter that we're looking for is simply the square root of 200 plus a 10. That's it. The first statement by itself is enough. First statement does the job. Since the first statement by itself turned out to be enough, we know now that AD, BCE. Since the first statement by itself turned out to be enough, we know now that answer has to be either A or a D, cannot be B, C or E. Answer is not B, C or E. It's got to be either A. If it turns out that only A was sufficient, or it will be D if it turns out that second statement is also sufficient by itself. We'll find out in a second. But as far as the first statement is concerned, we are done. The sum of the two sides is square root of 200, and that's it. We don't have to do anything with it, just leave it like that. Don't waste your time trying to analyze it. As a matter of fact, all of this was not necessary either. Nobody is asking us to figure out the parameter of it. They're simply asking us, do you have enough information? And as soon as we got to this stage where we found out one equation, x times y is 50, here we found another equation, 100 equals x squared plus y squared, we were done. We have two independent equations, we can solve for two unknown. Even if they ask us what are the values of x and y individually, it can also be done, even though they do not ask you here. But we could have stopped right there. All of this was unnecessary. So we're certainly not going to waste our time doing anything more with it. That's it, that's the parameter. Square root of 200 times 10. Let's see what they tell us in the second statement. In the second statement, they tell us that the two legs of the triangles are of equal length. Oh, that part is actually given in the problem itself. Two legs are of equal length. What does it mean? And why does it have legs? Statement 2 tells us two legs of the triangle are of equal length. In other words, if this side is x, then this side is also x. They are equal. These two sides are equal. In other words, we are dealing with, this implies that we are dealing with an isosceles triangle. And in any isosceles triangle, in any isosceles triangle, the sides are in the ratio of 1, 1, root 2. This is something we should know. This is something we should know by heart. Why 1, 1, root 2? Let's take a look at it. Why 1, 1, root 2? Oh, very simple reason. If it's an isosceles triangle and if this side is 1 and this side is 1, these two sides are equal, then what will be the hypotenuse? The hypotenuse would be, let's call it x. The hypotenuse would be, let's not call it x because we used x before. Let's call it h for the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse would be, h squared would be 1 squared plus 1 squared, which is 2, and therefore h will be root 2. 1, 1, root 2, that they come in that ratio, 1, 1, root 2. So in other words, if this side happens to be x, and if that side happens to be x, then that side is going to be root 2 times x. But we know what that side is equal to. We are told that that side equals 10. Therefore, this hypotenuse here, root 2 times x equals 10. Because we are told that the hypotenuse is 10. All we have to do is solve for x. And once we have the x, we'll have our parameter. Let's square both sides here. Let's square both sides. We get 2 times x squared equals 100. And x squared will equal 50. And therefore x will equal square root of 50. X will equal square root of 50. And therefore, the parameter that we're looking for, will equal this x right here, which is square root of 50, plus this x right here, another square root of 50, plus this side, which is root 50 times, or which is 10 actually. Let's just keep it 10. Which will actually work out to be 10 if you actually did it out like the way I was about to do it. It would have actually worked out to be 10 obviously. It has to work out to be 10 because that's what it is. The square root of 50 times square root of 2 would be square root of 100, and the square root of 100 is 10, which is what we're told here. Let's simplify this thing. This is same as 2 times the square root of 50 plus 10, and that's our parameter. And that by the way is the same exact quantity as the quantity we found in the first statement. They never contradict each other. This thing can be written as this thing can be written as, 2 can be written as 4 times 50. Because the square root of 4 is 2. You see, square root of 200, square root of 200 plus 10. Square root of 200 plus 10 is exactly what we found in the first statement. Therefore, obviously, the point here is the second statement is also enough. Second statement is also enough by itself for us to be able to figure out, for us to be able to ascertain the perimeter of the triangle, and therefore the answer is D. That's all. That's all. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.